In this video, I will guide you through a problem in Smith's Organic Chemistry. I'm Stoddard, founder of Study Chem, the place for students to turn for higher grades in OChem. Let's get started. In this problem, we're asked to name each epoxide. There are 3 ways to name epoxides, and it can get very confusing. Hopefully, the professor teaching your class only asks you to name the epoxides one way for any given compound, but just to be complete, we can name this from the alkene that it's formed from. So propylene is 3 carbons with a double bond. So we can name this propylene oxide. And that's because propylene can react to give you this molecule, which is called propylene oxide. It's one of the easier ways to name epoxides. Another way to name this is to look at the oxirane. This 3-membered ring is called oxirane, and we have a methyl group here. So we could name this methyl oxirane. In my opinion, that's a little bit more awkward. Another way we could name this molecule is by an epoxy alkane. So if we number the carbons, we have propane as the longest chain and an epoxy group between carbons 1 and 2. So we can write 1,2-epoxy propane. Now, this way is probably more common or more descriptive, but it's a little bit more difficult to figure out. Anyway, that's how we'll name this molecule in B. Let's think about this. We have cyclohexane. We have an epoxide between carbons 1 and 2, and we have a methyl group at carbon 1. So the way we would name this is 1,2-epoxy. So that takes care of the epoxy substituent, we will call it. Then to get rid of this methyl, we write 1-methyl cyclohexane. That is about as difficult as these things get, so you should be familiar with naming epoxides like that. All right. Down here we have hexane as the longest chain. Count it out. And we have an epoxy between carbons 2 and 3. Make sure you number from right to left. And we also keep in mind that this molecule is cis. We have these 2 groups on wedges. So the propyl group and the methyl group are cis. So we can name this cis 1-methyl three propyl oxirane Now, looking at this, I would think that we have a methyl group on carbon 1, but we have a propyl group on carbon 2. So we'll fix this, and I'll write a number 2 here instead of what I wrote originally, number 3. Okay, always count the carbons first. I made that mistake. Another way to name this is to number the longest chain, and you'll notice that the numbering changes here. So let me redraw this out. All right, let's number the longest chain, and we would get 1 through 6 like this. And again, it's cis, and we have an epoxy group between carbons 2 and 3. So we would name this cis 2,3 epoxy hexane. Now, the third way to name this is from the alkene it could be produced from. So if we look at this epoxide, we can see carbons 2 and 3 here are where we need a double bond. So this can come from hexene with the double bond in the correct spot. So we could name this hex-2-ene oxide. So I hope this tutorial in organic chemistry helps you out. Thank you for watching.